You're listening to WooSox Insider, presented by your Worcester Red Sox.
PQ, Swan Pod.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the WooSox Insider podcast. I am your host, TQ, Tim Quidamo, alongside Brendan Black and Dave Leonardi, producer extraordinaire. And what a fun month it's been. I think we had on our last pod the most fun segment we've done in this podcast history. Did Tristan Casas tweet that? And we were talking right before we started recording. Ever since we put that podcast out, it seems Tristan's just been going off. His tweeting has been through the roof. He's just tweeting all the time now, and it's great.
He wants to make sure we have enough content to play another game at some time in the future.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see him in person unless we go to some games at Fenway. But Tristan Casas just letting the personality out. Gotta love it.
Producer of content.
Yeah, there it is. You know, it's funny that you just said that. We'll absolutely credit him. Yeah. But it's funny you said that about, we hope we won't see him around the park because, that's their goal, is to be in the big leagues. But last year I had that actually. I said I was on a Zoom call with Caleb Ort. He was doing some trivia game for us. It was like, nice thing for him to be involved with for the winter weekend last year. And at the end of the call, I was like, hey man, thanks so much. I hope to see you around the park. And he goes, no offense, man, but I hope I don't see you. Yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's such a fun and interesting just dynamic, building those relationships and then just hoping that they go off and achieve their dreams. Yeah. And it's like, I hope you never really see me again, but I hope if I do that you're doing well. And it's because I have some time off. I'm enjoying a game out at Fenway and you're succeeding and everyone's happy, So best wishes to all those guys, Tristan Casas, Zach Kelly, Zach Kelly, by the way, Cooper and Jim Kane talked to Zach Kelly at the rookie development camp, which was hosted at Fenway in late January, along with Brandon Walter, the number 2 pitching prospect in the Red Sox organization. You heard last year all about Brian Bayo, obviously, Brian Mata, both those guys throwing 100 from the right side. Brandon Walter, very exciting southpaw, had a neck injury that sidelined him once he got called up to Worcester last season, but the WooSox fans should be seeing plenty of Brandon Walter. And again, hopefully not too much of him because he's pitching so well that he's got to go up to the bigs. But great interview between Walter and Cooper Boardman, I think, or Jim Kane, one of them. Those two also talked to Zach Kelly and Ceddanne Rafaela. So Zach Kelly, hopefully, just like Ort, going to be up in Boston in the bullpen there. But Ceddanne Rafaela, very likely, along with Walter, to be in Worcester. And if you're wondering, where can I see those interviews? Well, check out your local listings because there will be an hour-long show that packages up the season ticket member hot stove luncheon where Larry Lucchino, Dr. Charles Steinberg, Janet Marie Smith talk all about what's going to be new to do and see for WooSox 23. That means all the ballpark improvements, new concessions, new promotional schedule every week, some special theme nights, town takeovers, you name it. For 2023, you'll see what is going on at Polar Park. There's even more to do and see. So this Nesson show, we'll have that at the beginning. Then a sit-down interview with Tyler Murray and WooSox manager Chad Tracy, where they kind of recap some of their favorite moments from the WooSox 22 season and talk about some of the guys that have been called up and down, some fan favorites like Ryan Fitzgerald, Tristan Casas, talk about Kelly, Ort, and just talk about what Chad Tracy's life is like being a manager in the Red Sox organization. Great interview with Tyler Murray. And then those 3 guys, Kelly, Walter, Rafaela, talk to Jim Kane and Cooper Boardman. That'll be on Nesson all throughout the month of February. So check your local listings, and then we'll also put those individual segments up on our YouTube channel. So go to youtube.com, look up WooSox. I think WooSox on YouTube is like a sock company, so we didn't get the domain for it, unfortunately. But look up Worcester Red Sox. We're on there. You'll be able to find each individual segment and tune into Nesson as spring training games are just around the corner. Feels good to say that. Yep. You'll also be able to see what's going on down on the farm from a ballpark and player perspective.
Now, before we go on with the rest of the episode, we do have a guest for you, TQ, that is joining any second now. I sent him the link.
Goodness.
He will be here any second, hopefully sooner rather than later.
And so in the meantime, bearded Komodo flies, bearded Komodo flies. But why can't any of them blow fire out of their mouths? Tristan Casas, January 25th, 2023. Well, he's got a good point.
I guess I was going to say that would be a dragon, but it's a Komodo dragon, isn't it? So it's
bearded dragon, Komodo dragon, then
scientifically,
dragonfly.
Scientifically classified as a dragon. It should breathe fire.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a point. So,
but anyway, Dave mentioned it. Brendan alluded to it earlier. The reason we do have a special guest on the
Hey. Goodbye. Oh my goodness. I have returned at the turn of the tide like
Prodigal
Dumbledore. Wow.
Decaf, it's good to have you. Life is good. Just like the shirt says whenever Decaf's around.
So good. My buddy TQ is coming out west.
So this
golf
is we haven't even said it yet.
Next week.
We haven't even said it yet.
Sorry, everyone. Sorry, everyone. Sorry. I want to give you your moment. Sorry.
For all of you loyal listeners, first-time listeners, those who are just accidentally clicking on the link on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, this will be my last episode of the WooSox Insider podcast. As we're recording this, I'm 3 days away from my last day with the WooSox. I'm happy to say I've accepted a position with the Modesto Nuts, the Class A affiliate of the Seattle Mariners out in the California League. Go Nuts! As their director of marketing and broadcasting. So I'll be calling all 66 of their home games for the 2023 season. Thank you. And working in the front office out in Modesto. It's a great crew, excited to be a part of it. And it's just an opportunity that I've always kind of dreamed of, to be a play-by-play broadcaster for a team where I can really, I've been lucky to do it here because Tyler Murray got COVID that one time. And we needed somebody to sit in the seat and I could bank on my knowledge of the city, being from Worcester, but I've always kind of wanted to go out on my own, get really ingrained in a new city, organization, ballpark, get to know the good people of Modesto. It's a great front office out there. They do a lot of great work in the community, just like the WooSox and the WooSox Foundation do. So great opportunity for me to kind of get out of the control room and try something new. So I'm excited to move out west a little closer to my decaf.
Yes, the hero's journey begins. We got 6 tee times next week. I don't know when you're getting out here, but you got to hurry.
I'm getting out in like 2.5 weeks.
Well, there we go. Oh, I'm so excited. So excited. Only an 8-hour drive, something like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Only.
Apparently, Courtney Cowsill was telling me this because she's from Los Angeles, or from the Los Angeles area, worked with the Dodgers for a long time. We've had Courtney on the podcast before. Incredibly talented graphic artist here at the WooSox. She said like flights just inside of California, popular and cheap. She said in high school, her and her friends would fly from LAX to San Francisco and just like go to San Francisco for the weekend.
That's so California.
I am 15 minutes from the airport. That sounds like a deal.
It's extremely California.
Perfect. 15 minutes from the airport, no traffic. So you're like an hour and a half from the airport.
I have so much banked from American Airlines from times they've canceled my flights. I'll be there twice a week.
Sounds like a plan.
How often do they cancel your flights?
I just took advantage. It happened like 4 times in a row once, and it just kept piling up. Gotta take advantage.
Decaf,
listen,
while you're here,
Yes.
What have you been up to?
Oh, I'm just chilling, buddy. It's sunny and 70 again today. I've been on the beach in Santa Monica. I took a little time to work on my tan, which is completely, as you can see, gone totally successfully.
Yeah.
And no, but I'm working on some college basketball broadcasts for HBCU, historically Black colleges and universities. We're on the HBCU Go network, so you can check us out. Use that experience I got in the control room at Polar Park. This is my control room now. My 10 by 6 foot bedroom. It's great.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. No, I wake up, I roll out of bed, and here I am. No more hour commute.
So I asked about this because Josh Greenstein, our broadcast engineer at Polar Park from 212 Consulting Group, he kind of helped you get this gig, and I knew that your control room was your bedroom. So Decaf is producing college basketball games that are being played like on the East Coast or in the Gulf Coast down south, and the control room is physically in Phoenix, Arizona. So there's already that much of a degree of separation. The game's being played, say, in Louisiana. The control room is in Phoenix, and Decaf is producing the game and doing graphics, right? From your bedroom in Los Angeles, California. 2023, man.
That's
my year.
Crazy.
I gotta thank Josh Greenstein first and foremost. That man is the greatest agent of all time. He doesn't. He's a production genius, and he's also just he's my agent as a friend, and I cannot thank him enough. I'm pretty much forever indebted to Josh. If you ever see me running around just like grabbing him coffee, it's because I owe him 1,000 of them. But yeah, it's been exciting. It's been great. But I'm here to talk about TQ today because he's the reason this podcast exists. He might be the reason that the WooSox are in Worcester.
Can you tell how I've been trying to avoid
letters
this whole time?
Yeah,
TQ, it's all about you today. I'm actually in a sound stage right next door to TQ. I flew back to the East Coast for this, but we decided at the last minute we wanted to preserve the image of me being across the coast. No, but TQ first and foremost, when the WooSox were trying to figure out what was next, TQ was the one in Dr. Charles Steinberg's ear saying, Worcester. He was the little just devil on the shoulder, just like, come to Worcester.
Chirping.
Massachusetts. It's the best. He's from Worcester. He brought him there. Everyone in Worcester owes TQ drinks for life. I'm putting it on him. He brought him here.
Could be chill.
This podcast
could be chill.
This podcast exists because of TQ. Because when we were fighting through the tough days at work, we needed an outlet for our creativity. Working for a baseball team is great, but it's also work. You work for the team. There's a lot that goes on.
The podcast also did come up because I don't know if fans remember this, but last season started late at the major league level because there was a lockout. So we couldn't use any player on the 40-man roster. We couldn't use their likeness. We couldn't use their name. We had to take down all their photos and videos from all of our social media websites, all of that. So we couldn't talk about Jaron Duran, Tristan Casas, Connor Siebold, Josh Winkowski. Like, we couldn't talk about any of these players that everyone was excited about. And then some of the other guys like the Cedon Rafaelas and Miguel Blyce, like, we knew they weren't going to be with us in 2022. So we were sitting around thinking, what are we going to post on any platform? So shout out Chris Bergstrom too, who we've had very different ways of all letting our listeners know that it's going to be our last podcast, where Chris was like, no, I'll keep doing it. And then kind of just trailed off. Decaf, I think you let everyone know the penultimate podcast. You let everyone know that it was your penultimate podcast. And I was going to go until the last 5 minutes of this one before being like, hey, by the way, buy your opening day tickets. Spring tickets are on sale. Watch the Nesson show that we're editing and producing right now. Watch that throughout February. Spring training starting soon. This is it for me. See ya.
Leave it to TQ to give the Irish goodbye.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. We're having a swan song today.
Absolutely. It's a pod swan. TQ's pod swan song.
Pod swag.
Pod swag.
Swan pod.
Swan Pod. That's what we were saying.
Swan
That's
Pod,
what we
yeah.
wanted.
But what I'm trying to say is that work is work. Like whether you work for a baseball team or you're doing taxes, TQ wanted to do this podcast because he was like, what if work was just getting on a microphone and talking and trying to be entertaining? And now that's his full-time job. Like you made it happen, and I couldn't be happier. This is good. The fans of the single A affiliate of the Mariners are in for such a treat. Just an electrifying broadcast coming.
They're gonna be going nuts.
Nice.
They're gonna be going nuts.
I have to say, I was glad to be a part of what I think was probably the highlight of both of your, Dylan and TQ, your WooSox Insider career. It was before a game last year in the DCU club. All of a sudden, Dylan comes in the room and he goes, "You're never going to believe what just happened. You're never going to believe what just happened." As he was walking through, a fan stops and goes, "Hey, that's the guy from the WooSox Insider podcast." And then I don't know if it was TQ was behind Dylan.
I was
or
behind
Dylan. Was,
Dylan.
yeah, and then
I
they
was
go,
like a minute and a half
there's
behind
the other
Dylan.
one.
Yeah.
So TQ, you're the other one. But I mean, come on. That's all you can hope for.
I didn't hear him say to Decaf, "That's the guy from the WooSox Insider podcast." So I'm walking through the DCU club and somebody like 2 feet away from me just points at my face and goes, "Him too." So all I heard was a stranger who was pointing this close to my face, just going, "Him too."
You're him.
And right after Decaf walked into the control room and told you, "Guys, you'll never believe what happened."
You'll never believe this.
I walked in and I was like, "Guys, you'll never believe what happened." Some rando just pointed at me and said, "Him too."
My reaction to them was I just like my jaw dropped. I was like, "You did not just say that." I would love your reaction. Like, "Him too." He's like, "Man, TQ's kind of a jerk." Dylan was so excited to see us.
And then I got recognized as this Charleston
that.
Chew guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That's all you'll ever be.
Kind of had it coming.
That's Decaf. That was so rude to say that's all
No.
Dave will ever be.
But Dave, you're gonna keep collecting these names. No one's ever gonna know you as Dave Leonardi. It's like you're gonna be the programs guy, and then the Charleston Chew guy, and then something else is gonna happen. You're gonna be like you're gonna take a first pitch to the dome one day when you got the RF camera, and you're gonna be the first pitch to the dome guy.
I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it if that were to happen.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I like where this is going.
I'm glad to be able to see how far we've all come. I gotta say, guys, the podcast the other week when you were going through Tristan Casas's tweets, that might be the best bit on the whole show. Like, I'm sorry to have missed it, and I want to say that the best bit was one I came up with, but that was incredible.
Yeah, we had some fun with that one. I was absolutely floored that Dave was dancing around Danny DeVito at the end there. Like, he was like, it's always sunny, and I was like, what are you talking about?
I was on it, man.
Right
I knew it had to be some wacky personality like that, and I was getting to it.
Yeah, I guess it's crazy.
But I couldn't guess a tweet to save my life. I had like a 4-3 lead on you, and I crumbled.
I like the clutch moments, Dave.
It's great stuff. What's everyone's favorite TQ moment?
Stop it. Can you tell I'm uncomfortable because I don't know what to say?
TQ is usually the host of this thing, and I just want, let's just make him as uncomfortable as possible.
Favorite TQ moment.
One of the things. So TQ is who interviewed me the first time around, way back after the first job fair in 2021 in February.
Oh my goodness! Speaking of that job fair, so Joe Jacobs, Decaf, and I split up, like interviewing as many people as we possibly could. Over the span of 2 days, we probably interviewed like 150 people each. So everyone who got hired or most everyone who got hired in 2021 went to that job fair. And I hear so many stories about like, oh, in my interview, this happened or this happened. And I don't remember a single one of them.
Nothing. I don't know. I was fighting for my life that day.
that was pouring myself a stiff margarita. Shout out Herradura Tequila, our presenting partner of Taco and Tequila Tuesdays for WooSox 23. Nice. But
You can't stop TQ.
Making myself a frozen mark after each of those job fair days. It was a lot. It was stressful.
I can imagine. Well, I remember on the initial day, I'm pretty sure that too many people showed up, that like the system itself like crashed, and like no one could get into what their interviews were supposed to be. And I remember that I was like waiting, ready, was like, okay, here we go. I'm going to get in. Got in, like within 30 seconds, I was on the screen with Joe Jacobs, and then he was gone. And I was like, oh, no. And then we ended up, fast forward to the season. And I just remember, TQ, you met me outside of the park. You let me in on my first day.
Outside of the construction site.
The construction site, yep. Yeah. Where I wasn't in one of the areas, but we did sim games. We were filming sim games before the season was starting. And that was, as much as it was a sim game for the players, it was a sim game for the broadcast team, where we were broadcasting it. We were streaming online, I think, and we were just trying to run it like it was like a game. And we had people out in center field, a camera with a construction helmet on, because he was in a construction zone. And I just remember walking in, and the way you led the control room, it seemed like you've been leading the control room for years and years. The way
I had no idea what I was doing,
and that's fantastic, because you didn't let it show. And I just remember sitting there thinking, it's like, this kid is ridiculous. What is happening? How are you managing this? And then it was a team of you, Decaf, and Joe, and you guys were hitting the ground running 2 weeks before opening day in a ballpark that was 70-60% made, and in the midst, or at the tail end of COVID restrictions that time. I cannot commend you enough for like the maturity and the just like your leadership ability during all of that, and then just rolling with the punches as it goes on an everyday basis, where we are a minor league team, and we rely on a lot of different people for help in our productions department, and the vast majority of them are part-time, and they have to fit it into their schedules, and we're making sure that they can show up and they're going to have everything they need. And you have to fly around every single day and make sure that the show's ready to go, the in-game's ready to go, the TV broadcast's ready to go, the birthday message for 7-year-old Caden out there is up on the screen, because you'll get yelled at if that doesn't happen. And it was just every single day, same attitude, same TQ. You showed up, you got the job done, and then you also called games. You did sideline hits. You did all these different things. It's honestly incredibly impressive. And I am extremely gracious to you for deciding to leave so I could take your position.
Thank you, Brendan. That does mean a lot. It's easy in a role in sports, because everyone is doing so much all of the time, like full-time staff, part-time staff, executives. Everyone is setting up the next project and doing so much all the time, that I had some long days and nights, both working, but also just the emotional and mental toll that it takes, where it feels like not necessarily that your work is being unappreciated, but it's not necessarily being seen by people, because everyone is just go, go, go. So that means a lot for you to say that. I'd also like the record to show that Brendan called me mature. Pretty sweet. That's a first for me. Add that to the resume. Thank you.
Those were initial observations.
Initial observations. Okay.
Yes.
There we go.
It's the beard. It's the beard. But yeah, some crazy times. And I've had people ask me before too, like, how do you, after a long week, month, year of work, go and jump on the radio, or like go and sideline report? Like, how do you have the capacity to do that? And honestly, and this is a big reason why I'm taking this opportunity to go be the Modesto director of marketing and broadcaster, that was like therapeutic for me. I would go over there and just have a blast, and it would make me feel energized and rested and excited about just the stories going on, not just on the field, which it was my first love, baseball itself, but how the community interacts with the team, how the team interacts with the community, how messages and projects can get awareness out there and just get the word out there, and people can jump in to help. So thank you for the kind words. And that's essentially how to answer your rhetorical question. How the hell can someone run around and manage all this stuff? It's finding the little things you enjoy. Obviously, the broadcasting we've talked about, but all of you guys, like the highlight of my days, I say game starting 6:45, get in at 9 in the morning, 9:30, try to set up as much as possible for the rest of the crew that's coming in. And that's a lot of running around the ballpark, a lot of head buried in a computer editing. And then you guys and the rest of the crew would show up, and that's the same sort of relief I would get, just catching up with everyone, joking, laughing, having a good time, setting up a fun experience and atmosphere for everyone coming in the ballpark or watching at home. So thank you guys for making it a lot easier than I'm sure a lot of other people have it or would have had it with the situation that we had in front of us. You guys made it easy.
There was always an underlying mission in the control room, like, let's get TQ on the air today. We all knew how much that guy battled for us, and we all see how happy you would be to be on the air. You guys don't know, the fans at home don't know how many times. Have you ever heard TQ come on the air just totally out of breath? He just ran from the control room down to the field to switch batteries in a microphone and also put 6 birthday messages, and then he gets back on the air and he's like, okay, Trevor Kelly coming into the game.
Trevor Kelly,
what a name, Trevor Kelly.
That's just the first name that came to mind because he's still my favorite player, the greatest mustache in Red Sox farm system history. But now he gets just that's his life, that's his job.
Yeah, so explain this. So you're marketing. You're the director of marketing for the team. So that'll take place basically. A majority of your time for that is going to be off-season kind of work, or when the team is away. The marketing is what you'll be doing.
Yeah, and when the team's at home too. That's my mornings will be
your mornings.
If we have different groups or organizations coming to the ballpark, making sure they're taken care of, making sure that everyone in the front office is kind of on the same page. We know what our theme night is that night, promotional night. Off season, I'll get to make the promotional schedule, obviously with some help and guidance from the rest of the front office. But
you gotta give us a call before we make the final list, man. I got so many ideas that hit the cutting room floor in Polar Park. I'd love to bring to the Nuts. We'll get sitcom night going. I'll drive there for sitcom night.
You might
imagine
think
if
that
you guys just turned into TQ and Decaf, but of the Modesto Nuts. You just ran it back.
Decaf, you might think that I'm moving closer to you, but really it's just I'm going like 80% of the way there, and then I'm gonna drag you up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to meet you the other 20% of the way.
But
listen, man, I got a whole control room in here. I'd love to be like your producer, just wherever you go. I'll be posted up here so I can be close to the beach. But wherever you go,
I'll keep you posted. If I ever go solo, you and Derek Willand. That's who I'm giving a call to produce.
Yes.
Yes. And so, at what point during a game day do you become Tim Quidadamo, broadcaster? That's it. Because I know that's the best part of this position for you, is that you get to fully dedicate yourself to that role as a broadcaster when you're there, when it's game time, when it's time for first pitch.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to do some of the marketing work too, because baseball is so fun and it's like inspiring seeing stuff that the Bananas are doing and just stuff other minor league baseball teams are doing to like push the boundaries of what you can do at a ballpark. So I'm excited to kind of make a name for myself in the marketing world in sports too. But around like 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 p.m., if first pitch is at 7 p.m., like my game day responsibility is to be the play-by-play broadcaster. So I'll be doing the stat sheets, the game notes, rosters, lineups, and then just prepping, like interviewing players, coaches, managers, prepping a pregame show, a postgame show, and calling the game. So I cannot wait. Tyler Murray, who we all know and love, he said he had a friend who worked out in the California League for like, I think 4 or 5 years, and knock on wood, never had a rain out. That's Modesto's in the valley in California. So during the summer, it's going to get hot.
Set yourself up. You just set yourself up.
Yeah.
You're the biggest jinx, you know
the
that?
Worcester
When it comes to that
kid
kind
that
of thing?
just brought 25 games of rain over.
It'll be like
Daniel Gossett proving them wrong.
Watch, it'll be like Worcester rain too, where it's like, wow, clear forecast today, and then 10 minutes later, just buckets that no one saw coming. But
when it comes to my favorite TQ moment, I can't really pinpoint it down to just like one specific story, but I will keep this brief. It's more of just the little interactions throughout the day of just the little wisecracking jokes that just keep it going. Because, there's always the serious work. And, whenever his head is, dug into a billion papers and I'm over there annoying him, trying to give him some kind of random story for my life. And he gives me a little,
we've been over
Dave.
this. You're not annoying.
And he gives me the little Dave, and I just go walk away like, yeah, you're doing stuff important. It's whatever. I'm just spewing whatever. It's always the little like 3-second jokes that always stick with me throughout the day, and just it keeps it going. And one of the jokes that was probably so small in the moment, but I just remember now is I'm walking back from the parking garage to the park, and I'm going over this crosswalk, and this Honda Civic was driving and didn't see me for a second and almost took out my legs when I'm walking across the crosswalk. So I get to the park finally, and I get in the control room, and usually I always have some random story about my life of whatever happened in the last 24 hours from the last game to now.
You always come in hot.
I always come in
with
hot.
Some wacky story.
So here I am again with a story, and I'm talking about how I almost got hit by a car, and without skipping a beat, TQ just goes, Dave, I think you would have done more damage to the Civic than the Civic would have done to you.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And it's little jokes like that where it's just like mood uplifters that just keeps not only the person who's receiving the joke, but the whole room just shares that little laughter. And it just, someone's really tired and they're really focused on work and there's just that break of laughter, it gives them another like hour of energy. And just having those throughout the day just keeps the day going. And it just, it means a lot more than people may think.
Thank you, Dave. I think you've done that for Decaf, Brendan, and I a lot more than I've done it for you guys. I think.
I'm not going to quantify or whatever,
yeah.
Dave, but you have brought
plenty.
This is not about me. EQ Swan Pod.
Woo. The producer speaks.
My goodness.
All right.
I think that's the title of the episode. TQ Swan Pod.
This must be how that Honda Civic felt.
Yeah. I can only Dave.
Scared.
I'm walking here.
Yeah.
That Honda Civic would have stood no chance.
Oh no. It was like modded out too. It wasn't even the original.
A CRV. I think that's 50-50. It's a coin flip. Yeah, but a Civic.
Yeah, that might push you back 6 inches.
Yeah.
All I know is that you guys are so lucky that I'm locked out of the Dropbox because I was going to go hunting for every TQ clip I could find. The one I had in mind is one of the most underrated. TQ has so many great hits that have like such substance and content. My favorite's probably the Pitching Ninja one where they flipped over Chris Sale and Tanner Houck. That was awesome. But in terms of my favorite hits, obviously the home run right after you were complimenting the pitcher is up there. We've talked about that a ton. But there was a day when you came into the park early, and because of an event at the park, you pied Dan Diggins in the face, and then you brought the idea to the broadcast. I'm going to put on a suit and start a sideline hit, and then Dan Diggins is going to come in and whip a pie in my face. And we did that on Nesson, and it was amazing. And just the commitment to a bit that you were willing to go that far definitely speaks to Tim Quinn.
we flipped that back as he still had his responsibility as the director of WooSox Productions to go back into the control room, make sure that everything was going fine during the in-game. I remember I was directing the game and like I just turned around and I looked, and he has his jacket off. It's like just a shirt, but he has and I didn't know, when you're directing the in-game, I'm watching the game. I'm watching only the things
You're
that
not
are
watching the
happening
TV
inside,
broadcast.
not watching the broadcast. I just turn around and he's just like covered in this stuff. But he has like this serious stoic face. So he's like, God, he's like, yeah, is that channel not working? And I was just like, dude, you probably stink right now.
That's I think we ended up winning that game. So I did a post-game interview with a player down on the field, and Roberto Ramos, who we all remember walking off when we revealed Roberto the Rocket, then Roberto hit a rocket, walk-off winner in the 9th. Roberto Ramos wasn't in the lineup that day, and I'm like standing in the photo pit taking notes, and I had never like had a conversation with him other than just exchanging pleasantries when I go down to the field, just being like, hey, how are you? Good. How are you? Good. And that's it. And I'm taking notes like about 3 or 4 different guys to see who I can grab post game for an interview. He keeps like double, triple, quadruple taking. And I was like, hey, Roberto, how's it going? And this time he just goes, didn't I see you get pied in the face earlier? And I was like, yeah, man. And he goes, cleaned up nice. And I just walked away.
Yeah.
Also,
right.
Shout out Tatnick Cleaners. Went and gave my dry cleaning. And the poor woman behind the counter, I dropped my stuff off. I'm like, yeah, I got whipped cream all over it. She's like, all right, let me see. The tie, the jacket, pants, everything. And she just goes, oh, I don't know what I can do for this. And I was like, just do your best. And spotless.
Oh, there we go.
You'll never find someone more committed to a bit.
You have to commit to the bits. What else do you have? You know,
in this world, it really is all we have.
Answering the question to what else do we have, me and Brendan actually do have one more thing for you today as a part of the last episode, if you would like to introduce that, Brendan.
Yeah, so we just asked a couple people within the WooSox front office to send us along a couple messages, some thank yous, some good lucks for you, TQ.
Am I gonna cry?
You probably. The second I thought of this idea, I was like, TQ's gonna cry on the pod.
Better not make me cry.
And I have to say, there are countless number of people who could have sent in stuff that could have been involved in this. Right now, we're just going to show you, kind of a truncated version of that. But
so you're saying you reached out to a bunch of people and they were like, nah,
not true.
I'm not.
Not true. Not true. Not true. I had to edit it down. Okay, TQ.
They weren't saying good luck. They were saying good luck.
Yeah,
it's like that episode of you ever see that episode of Everybody Loves Raymond where they try and have people say nice things?
Already know.
Sick.
Never seen an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond.
The most notable no's were Big Poppy, Pedro Martinez, and TQ's mom. All three were like, nah. I'll see him when I see him.
No, that makes sense. I don't think they're rooting for me.
Yeah. But all right. So let's just, Dave, you can send it along. Dylan, we can send it to you too. If you want to watch, just I'd say mute yourself so that we could do it. And yeah, I want to. No, TQ, you can keep your audio on. Dylan, if you want to watch, just mute it. And Dave, you can take out all this nonsense.
All right, I'm watching.
TQ, my main man, the OG, dating back to Pawtucket. We started both together on our first day, full time in Rhode Island, and made the transition here to Worcester. Your hometown, for me, my second home, as you can say. Congratulations, man. Congratulations on an amazing career here with the Worcester Red Sox. We are excited to see what the future has in store for you. I'm going to miss driving by the ballpark, seeing you walking over to Coney Island with those Beat headphones on every single day. But congratulations to you, and thank you. Thank you for caring about this organization. Thank you for caring about this community.
I'm going to pause it real quick. Alex just finished up. I do not go to Coney Island every day. I could, but I've been trying to be a little more health conscious. So it's not every day, but it's at least like once or twice a week.
They're closed Tuesdays. It couldn't be every day.
Couldn't be every day.
It's just a lie.
TQ, when I started at Polar Park, you were the first person to really make me feel welcome there, and getting to know you and to now call you a friend is an absolute treat for me. I know whatever you do, wherever you go, you're going to kill it, because that's just how you are, and I wish you nothing but the best as you continue through your career. Be well, man.
Hey, TQ, man, can't believe you're leaving us. We're going to miss a couple of things about you. One, your shenanigans before the game. Two, your tomfoolery during the game. And three, your wisecracks after the game, man. Good luck, and we know we'll see you back in Worcester soon, man.
Thank you, TQ, for always being so supportive of my work and always pushing me to be my best and better. I can't thank you enough for always finding new opportunities for me as a photographer that ended up being some of the best experiences of my career so far. I know everyone in WooSox Productions is so excited to see you follow your dreams after you played such a big role in helping all of us follow ours. I can't wait to hear all of the incredible calls you make for the Modesto Nuts.
Get Cooper off my
TQ,
screen.
I don't know how to fit this in 15 to 30 seconds, but if there's one thing to say, it's I've never met anyone in my life who gives so much of himself to so many people every single day. You made, including me, everyone's lives better every single day, which is an extraordinary quality, and to do it in minor league baseball is even more extraordinary. Can't wait to see what you're going to do. And go nuts.
Man, I don't know how I'm going to be able to keep this to 30 seconds. I know I'm not going to. There's a lot that I can say. There's a lot that I probably shouldn't say. But TQ, I love you, buddy. I'm so proud of you for what you've been able to do here in Worcester and help build this production department into what it is. And I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you that you're going to be able to chase your dream now out in Cali. You're going to kill it. You're the younger brother that I've never had. I love you, and this isn't a goodbye. It's a see you later.
What's up, TQ? Congratulations on the new job. We got a big surprise for you. We got Hoobastank. What? We didn't get Hoobastank. Okay, well, no Hoobastank, but just want to say congratulations, man. You're gonna kill it out in California, and I know you'll be able to come back to Worcester to visit. Congrats.
Hi, TQ. One of the things I love most about you is how you carry your pride for Worcester in everything you do. I hope you bring that level of care with you to California. You're going to do great, and know that I am always rooting for you.
And I appreciate that, but again, I just think this works better if we're just friends. So I have to go. Sorry, TQ, Jennifer Aniston again, but I'm glad you and I had this chance to connect. I want to congratulate you on your incredible new job in Modesto, the perfect opportunity for you. I'm just really impressed and proud of you, man, for chasing your dream. I know there might be some hard times along the way, but just remember what got you here. It's your talent, your personality, and your work ethic, and that's going to take you to just amazing places, and no matter what life throws at you. I mean, we know the line from Forrest Gump, right? He's sitting on the bench. He says, my mama always used to say, whoever gets the next broadcast job in Modesto is on a fast track to the big leagues. And that line still resonates with me today, man. We're going to miss you a ton in Worcester, but we can listen hopefully every night if we can with the time zone difference, so it's perfect. I know you're coming back for a visit soon, but until then, have an excellent life, and congratulations.
Hey TQ, just wanted to say congratulations. We're so happy for you, and we're so thankful for all that you've done for us here at the WooSox. We can't wait to see what you do out there in Modesto, and the Nuts are very lucky to have you.
Hey TQ, I want to wish you all the best, man. I really enjoyed working with you. We had some good yucks and good laughs, and I'm sure you'll be succeeding whatever you do in the future. You are a great guy with a great skill set and a great asset to anywhere you're going to go. I wish you sincerely all the best, and I certainly will be missing you, buddy. I wish you the best, and if you ever need anything, one call does it all. I'll be there for you. I'll tell you what, because I'll be missing you. All right, all the best, my friend.
Rick Medeiros, ladies and gentlemen.
Rick Medeiros. So, Dave, I told Brendan this the yesterday, so the day before we're recording this. Rick called me and told me, "Hey, playa, I sent over a video to that Brendan Black, and I just got to tell you, I did it all on my own. He was so excited to tell me that he sent a video over. He figured out the technology of it to send a video over to Brendan Black, and I was like, Rick, buddy, like I think you might be spoiling a surprise here. And he was like, oh, and then just changed the subject. So I knew you guys had something up your sleeve. Thank you for putting that together. Thanks to everyone in the video. I started going early, and then that's also Tyler Murray's getting big league, huh? Turning down Jennifer Aniston again.
For real. Thank you for putting the comedic relief with DeMars and Murray at the end, because I was starting to tear up in the beginning. Shout out to Tyler and Taylor for knowing to hold the camera sideways. A lot of production people holding their cameras vertically in that video.
Yeah, that's true. But also, I just want to give the biggest shout out I possibly can to someone I probably don't think enough. I don't think anyone really talks about enough, but Jim Kane is who I kind of forced myself to be his friend when we were both playing baseball at Emerson. We got off on the wrong foot. I'll leave it at that. And then I would just show up at his apartment to watch a Pats game and bring some beers over. And he ended up convincing me, who was probably a little bit too anxious and nervous, to get on a microphone in college to call some Emerson basketball games with them. And the very first one, it was just so much fun to talk with him and work with him and see how he carried himself. No doubt in my mind there's a big league future there, and he kind of just guided me. Since then, he was the one on the phone when a control room position in Pawtucket opened up. It was him and Joe Jacobs, who I both played college baseball with, and Jim has always been a big supporter of mine every step along the way and a big mentor. And I always like saying the older brother I never had. I have two older brothers, and I just those who have brothers know you just like giving subtle jabs to each other here and there. But Jim Kane, what a guy.
Great man. Lover of Toy Story. When you said penultimate like 3 times earlier, I just saw his smiling face in my head.
Loves the word penultimate.
Just like Jay Burnham likes the word inauspicious. An inauspicious start for the WooSox. You'll hear that one.
Yeah. Also, Jay Burnham has the best hair in the business. I swear to God. It's so good.
I remember when he was on for the episode, we had him and I think it was it him and Antonellis we had on together? When we had him and Antonellis on, there was like a 5 to 10 minute segment of just how luxurious that man's hair is.
It's great.
It wouldn't be a Swan pod if TQ didn't talk about Jay Burnham's hair.
Yeah. What a head of hair on that guy. It's unbelievable. Also, how many synonyms can you come up with for shenanigans? He must have had a thesaurus right behind camera. That was unbelievable. Yeah. Thank you guys for putting that together. Thank everybody in the video for the kind words.
Thank you for not showing up to last week's meeting. It made it easier to plan for me and Brendan.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah.
Thanks everyone in that, and also for making me cry on the pod.
Player name redacted.
All of you.
Dave bringing back the bleep button from the days of the
redacted.
The days of the lockout. Wow, we really have come full circle today.
Yeah, this podcast is supposed to be about fun, and it's going to continue to be about fun. Be on the lookout on Nesson, all you listeners, for that February show talking about how there's even more to do and see for WooSox 23, ballpark improvements, new menu items, new promotional days, special theme nights, all included in that Nesson show, along with a sit-down interview between Tyler Murray and WooSox manager Chad Tracy about what life is like as a minor league manager in the Red Sox organization. And they talk about some of your favorite players, including Zach Kelly, who Jim Kane and Cooper Boardman got to talk to at the rookie development camp in late January. Those interviews will also be part of the show. They talked to Zach Kelly, number 2 pitching prospect Brandon Walter, southpaw, and they talked to Cedon Rafaela, who was just doing it all in Portland last year, playing Gold Glove caliber center field, shortstop, hitting tanks, stealing bags. He can do it all. He'll be fun to watch in WooSox 23. Spring tickets are on sale now. You can call the ticket office, come by in person, or order online. If you are going to call, that number is 508-500-8888. Again, 508-500-8888. And be on the lookout for when summer tickets are going to go on sale too. And I won't spoil it, but I'll give you a little tease. It's a good idea if you're going to try to come to some of the marquee summer games. So like say maybe 4th of July fireworks, which have been pretty awesome and exciting games. Never mind the incredible Unibank fireworks show after the game. But if you're looking to come to some of the bigger, more packed games in the summer, you might want to buy a couple of spring tickets before summer tickets go on sale. It could help you out in the future, but I'll leave it at that. Thank you to all the listeners too. A lot of ambassadors, ushers, season ticket members, fans in general from New England, all over the country. We have like one listener in LA. They actually pinpointed it to like his dingy, dark bedroom that he's just listening to.
That's
it
a TV
nonstop.
studio.
Yeah. Sorry,
Control room.
Yeah. The demographics are actually saying it's a control room, not a bedroom, which is why it's so dimly lit and smelly. But thank you to all the listeners, for everyone who's pointing me in the face and saying him too walking around the ballpark. And a special thank you as someone who grew up 15 minutes down the road, gets to drive by their Little League field, or I should say got to drive by their Little League field and have those memories wash over me. Got to drive by my Summer League field, the same thing, high school field, and then got to work at a ballpark where I could see all my family, friends, former coaches, teammates, classmates from Tatnick Magnet, Forest Grove, Doherty High School, and see everyone around the ballpark having a good time, enjoying themselves, and giving some words of encouragement. Seriously, I cannot thank you enough. Luckily, the Modesto Nuts season starts a little bit later, which I'll have some catching up to do this season, but it starts a little bit later and ends a little bit sooner than the AAA schedule does. So maybe you might see me towards the end of those summer games enjoying some tacos and tequila on a Tuesday. Gotta love it.
Everyone listening to this podcast is invited to TQ's statue unveiling in 40 years outside of Polar Park after a long, illustrious career in baseball, which will include a 10-year playing career that spurns up when he turns 32. It's going to be a magnificent. I've seen it all. You can also come to get autographs from me and TQ on Santa Monica Beach 2-3 weeks from now. We'll be there every day. $10 a piece. You're all welcome.
$10 a piece.
Everyone say we love you, TQ.
You could get 2 autographs and a picture for $25. Pretty good deal.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Well, TQ, we wish you all the best. The Modesto Nuts are getting an incredibly hard worker, an incredibly talented broadcaster, and I know that you are going to do incredible things. And maybe one day when Dave O'Brien's job gets he comes to his end here at Fenway with the Red Sox, we'll see Tim Quidadamo sitting in the seat at Fenway and taking that over. We're gonna miss you.
And then
here.
Brendan Black will go to the Modesto Nuts.
There we go. It's just the classic. Yeah, it's how it works.
What's that fish called that just swims next to the shark and just eats some of the chum that the shark chews up?
Yeah.
I don't know the fish, but I know that you're a shark,
that.
buddy.
Yeah, I don't have to be that.
No, I think you're your own person. You are taller and handsomer. We've been over that.
I'm definitely taller. I'm not going.
I just got a haircut. Don't let it fool you.
Yeah, nice. Well, everyone, opening day, March 31st, 4:05 p.m. Unibank fireworks show right after. Tickets on sale now. Tim Quidadamo, Dylan McCaffrey, Dave Leonardi. It's the Swan Pod. Thank you, TQ. We love you. And good luck.
Love you guys.
Love you.